Well, welcome back. Gray divorce is the new term for older couples who are going through a divorce. And it is not uncommon these days for people over the age of 50 to say, I don't. I mean, think about the couples who've split recently. You've got Wolverine actor Hugh Jackman and his wife of 27 years announcing their separation last year. Dirty Dancing star Jennifer Grey and Marvel actor Clark Gregg split after 19 years of marriage. And billionaire Bill Gates and his now former wife divorced after 27 years of marriage. For high-profile couples, even people like us, we know that divorce is hard. And when you mix money, well, it makes things that much more complicated. We have certified divorce financial expert Cathy DeWitt Dunn here to help us out this morning. But first, we would like to talk to Jenny Manning. Jenny, you have been divorced more than once. You are here to talk about the financial strain that this caused you. In fact, you were first married at 23, right, Jenny? Mm-hmm. Your longest marriage was to your second husband. You're focusing on the financial impact of your marriage. Tell us what role money played in all of that.
In my second marriage, I was the breadwinner, and it was a shocker.
Right.
I mean, I didn't know he was planning it. And so he got everything, not everything, half of everything, which I did not plan. And it took a toll on me. I mean, and this was back in 2009 when the real estate crashed. So it was scary and devastating emotionally. Hurt my business, because I couldn't focus on that.
Were you divorced in the state of Texas?
Yes.
Yes. So, and we'll talk to Cathy about that too. It will depend from state to state, obviously, as to how settlements play out. A lot of people don't realize the financial impact that a divorce can have on a woman, especially as a breadwinner. Talk about the areas where your ex-husband was able to access financially in the divorce.
Well, I still, to this day, don't know how much or how long he had been stealing money from my business. The only thing I asked when I got married is just take care of the bookkeeping, the bills, and taxes. I will do everything else. So I just used to hand him my checks and I totally trusted him, and then found out too late he had been taking money.
Right. And we need to, also, and Cathy, you'll talk to this as well, that when a woman goes through a divorce, I mean, the ex can have access to your retirement savings, your pension, your 401k. I mean, all of these things that you normally wouldn't think about are out on the table in a divorce. So let's talk about that process and these areas of, let's say, surprises.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a complicated scenario, right? You just think, like, I've worked my whole life and I'm going to be okay. And then all of a sudden, like Jenny, you get hit with, like, oh my gosh, my whole world is upside down.
Right.
So I think it's really, you got to really be careful. I know a lot of younger women, like if you go back into the 70s, they stayed at home, they took care of the kids, et cetera. But now we take a look, 1 in 3 marriages now that are people that are filing for divorce are over the age of 50. So that is a oh my gosh moment, and we need to really financially prepare for that. And it's really difficult to think that things may end up, turning upside down later in life. But I definitely think that you need to take a look at a prenup, or even sometimes a postnup will really help, going down the road if this is where you have to head.
Let's elaborate on that, because if you would have been able to intercept Jenny, right? I mean, you probably would have said, okay, first of all, you should, a prenup before marriage, but explain, if you don't get the prenup, explain what a postnup is, and is there a window of when that can happen, or is that any time after marriage?
I think every situation's a little bit different, but I find that sometimes people that end up are coming into a lot of money, or something is happening while they're married, maybe things are a little rocky anyway. A postnup can happen at any time. It's just an agreement that you agree that this is mine and this is yours, And it's really important to protect yourself, even as women these days, because it's going to impact you with Social Security. And it's not just so much the divorce, which is, is a difficult scenario. You've got to look at it black and white on paper. financially and how everything is going to impact you.
Give us all your tips. I know that we have something for our viewers to be able to see at home, and I really want them to have takeaways, Cathy.
Yeah, you need to take a look at all your financial accounts, right? So we need to make sure that everything is styled correctly. What are we going to do? And then when we're looking at a divorce, depending upon, in your scenario, you were the wage earner, Jenny, and sometimes is the opposite, right? Where it's usually the male. So we need to take a look. People come to me when I take a look at their financial records. And when we're looking at a settlement, we need to look at what kind of dollars are we looking at? Are we looking at pre-tax? Are we looking at post-tax? So we have to take a look at that. The other things we need to look at is making sure that if we're now down to a divorce, we're looking at that. We need to update all of our financial records. We need to look at who our beneficiaries are. We need to look at our advance directives. All of those things are very important, because you just don't want to have anything else pop up later down the road, because that's the one thing you're trying to avoid. And then we need to make sure that we have an emergency savings. I know before we get divorced, take a look at all your records, because now all of a sudden, here you are, you're a spouse, you're going to be a single wage earner in your home. We need to have a budget. We need to have a worksheet. We need to have all of these things to prepare ourselves, but we need to have 3 to 6 months of expenses. And then let's take it one step further down the road. We need to look at where do we stand with Social Security benefits? What's going to happen with our pension if we're married? And now we're going to have to divide that. So there's a lot of different things. And there's a great little checklist. If you go to DeWittandDunn.com and just send me a live chat message, I can get you that information.
Great.
But it's really just the checklist.
It's important. Thank you, Cathy, for walking us through all of that, not to mention the cost of the divorce itself. There's a lot to talk about. But Jenny, thank you for your honesty and transparency. Cathy, for your advice, as always.